Всем привет фанатам биатлона, ребят. Сегодня чемпионат мира, спринт мужчины. Пробегут свою гонку. Посмотрим, кто окажется сильнейшим. Итак, первый участник — это Дмитро Подручный из Украины. Он готовится стартовать. Спасибо вам за то, что подписываетесь на канал, ставите лайки, поддерживайте мой канал. Кто не подписался, можете подписаться, поставить лайк этому видео, если вам понравилось. Понравится. Томас Джакамель, Италия. Под вторым номером стартует в синей майке. Это означает, что он самый молодой, лучший спортсмен.
One of the most exciting skiers. He's technically brilliant. There's very, very little you can pick out with his technique that you would want to improve. It's all to do with the shooting. Two shoots, of course. Apologies to those of you who've watched many hundreds of.
Кто же на этот раз окажется сильнейшим? Инвениус из Финляндии под третьим номером.
And every miss incurring a 150-meter penalty, and in these conditions, the penalty loop can be heavily used.
Но тумана вроде бы нет, как у девушек было. Это уже хорошо.
Good to get a little bit of footage of the entrance to this tougher section of the course. He'll start to go up.
Йоханнес Кюн под четвертым номером из Германии.
He's had 4 of 5 sprints in the top 10. Now, if you pepper the top 10 often enough, sooner or later you'll get yourself.
Симон Эдер, Австрия, пятый номер.
He continues to impress. 17th in Lenzerheide, his best sprint results so far this year. It's not really about tonight for him, Ian. It's more about the pursuit tomorrow. And if he can finish in the top 15, then he's got a chance. Absolutely right, yes. He goes into this start of this race today with a 2-race strategy. Of course, everyone else needs to think of that, but he will have a very specific plan for both races. And today's bit, he's got to get right and not try and over-egg. Yeah, I wonder whether the single mix relay is what he's really got his mind set on. Ada and Hauser.
Итак, первая отсечка. Томас Джакамель выигрывает 0,6 у Дмитрия Подручного. Бенедикт Доль.
He's the only man to have won twice this season, and of course he has won a world title in this sprint event. You have to go back to 2017 in Hogfilsen, but when he's on form, he is very, very dangerous. Away he goes, and Germany will know that he is their best chance tonight. 26,000 last night, Ian. We don't get the figures until the end of the evening, to be honest, so we can't tell you, but we can guess. I think there are at least a couple more thousand in tonight.
Еспринеллин из Швеции, 8 номер.
I think they do such a good job here in Novo Mesto to bring the crowds in. Yeah, the stadium is full. Out on the tracks, they have space for 10,000, so we can go up to a maximum of 30,000. Number 8 is Jesper Nellin, the Swedes, yet to impress at these championships. Although, of course, they recovered well.
Кентен Фионмайя под 9 номером стартует.
Keep your eyes out. I wish we had a timing wand to pick up the ski speed. I just have a feeling this man is going to fly. Yeah, so he's had a couple of weeks to prepare for this World Championships after a very poor start
to the season, he hasn't performed the way we would have expected him to, and so probably has written off all chances of winning the World Cup this year or being anywhere near those crystal globes. This is the big event for him this week.
Yeah, he's down in 16th place. He's 5.
Александр Мухин из Казахстана.
Back to Phil Mayer's house at the end of the year, but he could win this title. He's 3 medals already in the sprint, no gold, but tonight could be the night for him. Mukhin of Kazakhstan, 25-year-old, sandwiched in between Phil Mayer and Dali.
Под 14 номером будет стартовать Тарибем. Йоханнес Дали из Норвегии. Первый норвежец начинает старт. Это Йоханнес Дали.
There's very few people that could get anywhere near him on ski speed, at least based on his performance previously this year.
Yeah, he's been asked a few times what the secret is, and he says, I have been working on my, what's the next word?
Technique. Always is.
It's technique. Not about doing more hours. It's about doing more quality and slightly less quantity. But he says the main factor is just working on the technique, improving the efficiency of his glide on the skis. He's a little more ragged than Johannes Tingesbø, but that is where Johannes is so good.
And what he does have that Johannes really doesn't, to be fair, is he has a last 100, 200 meter kick. This guy can sprint. It'd be wonderful to see him on the World Cup Nordic circuit and see how he would get on against the rest of the Norwegians that are so good at sprinting.
Yeah, but wouldn't you love to see Johannes Tingesbø in a time trial in the Nordic events, just to get some idea of how good or how slow they are? Over time, very, very few biathletes have tried it. Martin Fourcade tried it and failed. Ole Einar Bjørndalen tried it and succeeded once, and of course medalled in the Olympic Games back in 2002. Tingesbø, well, he's not the quickest, but his combination of speed and accuracy has served him well. The last 2 or major titles, he's been on the podium. He was third last year in Oberhof, and he was second in the Olympic Games. It's been, in fact, he was second last year. I've got it the wrong way around, and third in the Olympic Games.
He's got a full set from this year. That's quite cool, really. One of each colour from World Cup.
Yeah, he won the race in Hogstillson. Jakob Fack, another man who's no stranger to winning, won the mass start world title back in 2015. We have to go to Kontiolahti for that. The World Championships where Dorana Bear astounded us, coming back from starting her family and getting on the podium in 2 successive races. On the top of the podium, I should say. Rastoguyev made his early impressions with his ski speed. Now, when you were on the start gate, Ian, as we watched Kern go through the 2.4 kilometre stage, did you wait for that 5th beep, or did you just go through the one?
Yeah, if you're watching and you don't understand why some of them get away slightly ahead of the beep, I think there's a couple of seconds margin that you can go off at, but it's when the timing wand actually opens that your time begins. So, you know, you can therefore effectively cross the line just a few inches ahead of someone else who hung back for that extra second and have exactly the same time as them in the overall results. I was always extremely disciplined.
Чемпионат мира проводится у нас. Это Чехия, Новое место на Моравии. Ребята, извините за голос, просто я болею, как бы. Поэтому сильно говорить не могу. Но для вас я хочу провести эту гонку, конечно. И Дмитрий Подручный на первой стрельбе. Пока что чисто. Промах 4-м выстрелом. Конечно, в такой гонке нужно стрелять чисто. Мартин Понсилома по 19 номерам. Томас Жакамель на стрельбе.
Jacamel, how's the time doing?
Yep, he's just a couple of seconds ahead of the fastest into the chute. In Vilnius, we haven't seen
Первым же выстрелом
there
Маш.
somewhere, but Prodigy 5 seconds slower on Jacamel. That first miss from Jacamel, 150 meters to ski. He's not shooting quickly. We said he'd need to shoot 0 in order to win. That is a slow shoot, Patrick. So add to that another 23 seconds probably. We'll get a time on the penalty loop in a minute.
Эмилиан Жаклен из Франции по 21 номерам.
Anybody's guess what he might do. He could win. He could finish down in 40th position. You might argue you could say that about anyone. But Jacquelin this season has been so inconsistent that you'd be a brave individual to have too much money on him tonight. Johannes Kern of Germany.
Yeah. Good time, just 1.8 seconds behind Jacamel, who's the quickest into the range so far. Clears these, almost certainly take the lead.
Чисто Йоханнес. Но Йоханнеса кинуть слабо, это стойка. Стреляет он не очень плохо. Пока на первом месте 27 секунд. Выиграет у Дмитрия Педручного, у которого был промах. Посмотрим, что покажет Симон Эдер. На подходе он проигрывал 22,8. Уже такое большое отставание.
Around 26-27. And he clears all 5.
Nice стрельба. 5 из 5.
Coming in though, Patrick, 24 seconds down. Now he expects to lose about 7-8 seconds per kilometer, so it's not far off the pace. And he
Бенедикт Доль подходит к стрельбе. Второе место занимает, 20 секунд проигрывает.
Ada will be looking to have more success at the end of tomorrow than he will at the end of today.
Now we should get a decent response to Benny Doll's shooting.
Вторым выстрелом промах.
Long way wide.
Два промаха. Jesper Nylén.
And it's cruel, isn't it, Ian? Because you make 2 mistakes in a sprint, and that's 2 mistakes you can add to your pursuit. He is going to be a long, long way adrift of tonight's winner, who I'm sure will shoot 10 out of 10, unless it's Dali Shevdal or possibly Johannes Tingesbo. But even I think Johannes Tingesbo has to shoot 10 to win this one. This is looking good from Nylén.
Чисто Jesper Nylén. Сейчас поменяется у нас лидер. Йоханнес Tingesbo по 26 номерам стартует. Кентен Финнмей чисто. Очень быстро отстрелял. Будет новым лидером. 11,7 выиграет у Jesper Nylén, Йоханнес Даля. Что же покажет норвежец? Сейчас мы все проверим. Выигрывал он 14 секунд. Промах.
He throws it low right. Well, that's that penalty loop. Now he's got to be quick. The miss has slowed him down. The miss has slowed him
Один промах
down.
Йоханнес.
Furious with himself. Ziggy Mazet will have a few stern words. Low right, we've seen him go low right in. He's not out of it in terms of a podium finish.
Наш штрафной круг.
50 meters to go, and he's going to end up at least 15 seconds adrift. Johannes Tingesbø. That will make Mazet nervous, and I wonder whether the whole Norwegian team will respond to that. Had Dali Skjevdal hit 5 and gone to the top of the leaderboard, it might just have relaxed the rest of the team.
It gives you a much clearer benchmark because you know roughly how well you are skiing
Первая
this week
отсечка, смотрим Йоханнес.
compared to Dali Skjevdal. Johannes Tingnes approaching now the
0,4 выиграет уже Клина.
0.8 kilometer point.
Еспер Неллин 3,6 выигрывает у Кюна.
Skjevdal, Patrick left the range 15.9 seconds behind, having done a loop.
Таримбион подходит к стрельбе.
5 Norwegians racing. 6 Norwegians racing because they have
5 in the top 5 places in the World Cup, and they have last year's champion.
Пока чисто. Промах. Если бы не этот промах, то бы он бы лидировал, конечно же. Итак. Да, штрафной. Ребят, пишите, за кого болеете в комментариях. Кто вам нравится из спортсменов? Делитесь мнением, кто лучше, кто достоин победы. Поставьте лайк, если вам нравится смотреть биатлон, и вы любите биатлон. Йоханнес Дали, посмотрим, сколько он проигрывает. 13,7 на втором месте Йоханнес, даже с промахом. Скорость очень хорошая.
Definitely the man you want to chase is Dali Skjevdal, one of the quickest we've seen on the circuit this year.
Christian Gau под 34-м номером.
12th in the Olympic Games. That was an outstanding performance from him. He shot 0 on that occasion. We've seen him 3 times in the top 10 this season. Maybe tonight is going to be the night for him. 35, Anton Sinopov of Bulgaria. Just taking his place on the start line.
Антон Синапов. Мартин Панселома на первой стрельбе.
Over the first couple of kilometers, and again a clear shoot required. Someone in the top 10 of the skiers is going to shoot the perfect.
5,2 он выигрывает у Кентена на подходе. Если промах. Все. Двумя промахами все разрушил.
Yeah, all over the shot, and I guess that was not building a sufficiently stable position prior to the
Эмилиан
first
Жаклин
shot.
подходит с 10-секундным преимуществом. Нужно отстрелять, чтобы стать лидером. Удастся ли Эмилиану Жаклину? Но, как мы знаем, стойка для него. Первым выстрелом же промах. Но стрелял быстро, но промахнулся.
Jean-Paul and Jean-Pierre both, I think, can't quite believe what they see. Well, he got 4 down. Jacamel, second shoot in the stand. I think he's gone past Big Drushny.
This is quick. Oof.
It's lovely. Great shooting. Go on. Yes,
Чисто.
absolutely sensational. 18.7, and that puts Jacamel back in the money. Third, one miss on that first shoot.
Чисто, быстро. Молодец.
That would be very, very competitive. Well, it's good for the pursuit, and that will cheer up the Italians.
11-3 выигрывает.
Italy missing their chance of a medal in the mixed relay.
Quick update on Jacqueline, Patrick. Just 10 seconds behind Fiormaillet after the first shoot, who, of course, Fiormaillet missed.
Промах Йоханнес последним выстрелом. Мог бы на что-нибудь претендовать, если бы с нулями, но так, не знаю. Йоханнес дали смотрим. Отсечка. 5,7 километров.
And he was, what, 15 seconds down, so he's made up 6 again. He made up, what,
9,8 проигрывает, но сокращает свое отставание.
And sitting in behind him, looking very, very comfortable, is Nicholas Hartweg of Switzerland. And Hartweg will be thanking his lucky stars that he nipped in behind the fastest skier. Johannes Tingesbø, is he going to be able to hit 5 in the pro?
Well, he is the fastest skier to this point. 4 seconds ahead of Dali Shevdal, who's way, way ahead of anyone else.
17.6, he's 5 seconds quicker. That's the first miss. He cannot afford another one. He's won many titles, missing one out of the 10. But has he got the ski speed to do it today? The first shot went down, Ian. 17.6, that's 5.6 slower than we saw from Jules Simon in the women's race yesterday.
Yeah, he does take his time, doesn't he? Usually we rarely see him rushing that first shot in the prone. It's a different story often in the stand. Very rapid normally.
Yeah, he's still I think he's going to be within 10 seconds of the leader. Jacqueline.
Побить Кентена Фиормаилlet так и никто не может. Йоханнес на втором месте 6,6. И Спринт на стрельбе. Если попадет, то может побороться на какой-нибудь промах. Как и Йоханнеса кино последним выстрелом. Переживают, очень переживают ребята. Поэтому мажут. Это главный старт года. Самуэльсон на лёжке. Чисто Самуэльсон.
So Seb Samuelsson 5 with 5, that's good, exactly the kind of start he wanted. He won't take the lead, just going to miss out on that. Fiormaillet holding on to that for now.
0,7 проигрывает Кентена Фиормаилlet. Йоханнес дали на стрельбе. Кентен, как мы видим, один раз промахнулся. Йоханнес еще промах. Два много, Йоханнес. Филипп Наврат из Германии стреляет.
So Hartweg must have shot Patrick. He came in behind Jali Sevdal for his first shoot.
Fiormaillet with one miss in the stand. Am I right in saying that? Just double checking. He's missed one. He still has the lead. 18-18, the lead time. Hartweg and Dali come in together. Dali is going for his stand. I should say Dali Shevdal. That was his wife's choice to combine the two names. What did he say? Happy wife, happy life.
Отметка 7,5 километров.
Absolutely. It works. So Hartweg on his second loop now, right behind Dali Shevdal. Followed him around the penalty loop.
Бенедикт Доли. 11-3 проигрывает Мира.
Misses his second. It's not going to be his night. Just don't get the feel things are going Norway's way. Johannes Tinger's Bo has missed one. Dolly Shevdal's missed one. Talia Bo missed one on the prone. And they do not have the superiority on the skis at the moment that they've had in the past.
Sigi Marze, he's in pain, Patrick, watching this one by one. His troops are dropping shots and ruling themselves out, slowly rule themselves out of those gold medal positions. It's not over yet.
По скорости лучше. Далее.
4 seconds lead over him.
Яков Фак на стрельбе, но проигрывал уже минуту, поэтому высоких результатов он не наберет.
Best case, his ski speed is not there anymore. A minute behind the winner, a minute back, setting off tomorrow, and a clear shoot tomorrow. He could still manage to get on the podium.
4 out of 5
Чисто Расторгуевс.
And nice shooting from Rastoguyev. He is the first, just checking, does double checking. He's the second man to go clear. Adam Runnels of Canada has done it. He is at the moment just 16 seconds off the lead. Rastoguyev has a similar time, and Vilmaye still leading. 9.3 ahead of Talia Bo. Dolly Shevdal, bit of making up to do on that last lap. 13.6. That's going to be a battle to watch in.
Campbell Wright, he's had a good mid-season. Campbell didn't go well before Christmas, but since then he's enjoyed racing and seems to be always up for a fight.
From New Zealand, used to live on the Hawea Flats just outside Wanaka. Anyone who's done the Wanaka triathlon or Ironman will know all about it. Long cycle in the windy conditions, but it's a beautiful part of the world, and he's got himself a 10 out of 10. This could be a PB at the majors for Campbell Wright, and ever since he just scraped into the Olympic qualification, he has done great work. And now, of course, racing for the USA, and I think the Americans will be delighted that he's joined their forces.
Yep, he's a strong addition to the American team, and it's mutual, isn't it? It really helps him. Giacomo, how is he doing? 1 penalty. Giacomo, I should say. What a shame about that first miss in the pro. Quick enough to win gold, strong enough in the head, usually to be up for a battle with anyone who's out on the track, and relishes that kind of race in the pursuit. Comes ahead of Prajicny, 21 seconds up. For now, at least has the gold tab next to his name, but that is going to change fairly soon.
Now, Jacqueline shooting faster than anyone else tonight, and that is the sort of star we saw from him in Le Grand Bonnat a couple of years ago when he took a win. And Jacqueline 60 seconds inside. You know what? We had a clean sweep from the French last night. They could get the top 2 positions tonight, but it's going to be a ski race. Jacqueline comes out a lead of 7.5 seconds, and he is going well. Well, we did say, Ian, at the top of the program that you never quite know what you're going to get from him.
No, he's taking risks today. Even the prone shoot, when he did miss one earlier, that second shot that he missed, I think it went too early. I think he snatched it, but he's decided his strategy is to go quick everywhere.
Hats off for Johannes Kern. He's got the lead at the moment ahead of Jacques Amel, but these are just the early starters. Going back to the first shoot, just to let you know, Phil Maillet still with the fastest time. Samuelson, Johannes Tingersbo is in 3. Jacquelin was down in 4. He now leads, having come out of the range, and Jesper Nellin was up there as well. Now the French with Perrault, who got himself a place in the mixed relay team because he's been so consistent. And he skied pretty well, produced the fastest time on his leg. This is nice looking shooting. 3 in pretty much the same place. It's a good group, definitely in a two-penny piece, and that is what they wanted. Great shooting, and the time is fantastic. France are doing it again.
Yes, and Perrault decided short sleeves will work for him. If it worked for Simone yesterday, then it's good enough for him. He wants to copy her. Could this be his first big win?
Yeah, one of the problems for the Norwegians is they're all chasing Phil Maillet, but little do they know that Jacquelin and Perrault have got a better time than Phil Maillet at the moment.
That's right, they'll be starting to try and work those percentages and figures out on the course and getting that information out to them, but it really hasn't gone well. Johannes Tingnes in the range, second shoot, needs to shoot quick and clear.
Watch Phil Maillet across the line. He's got the lead by a long margin. Johannes Tingnes has gone 1-0. Now the last 2 titles he's won in this game, he has missed one and then out-skied everyone else. He has a major task on his hands. We'll watch him as he comes out. The current leader in the finish is Phil Maillet. Watch the clock. Jacquelin in 18-10. 20 seconds inside. And the crowd here in Novo Mesto rise to the great champion as he exits with 3.3 to go. Is he going to make it 3 titles in succession? Dali Shevdal, you know, those 2 misses here, he's fantastic, he's on brilliant form, but no one can afford to hit 8 out of 10.
No, that's it. He needs to be just minimizing the damage now. Look at the grimace, he's working so hard. Already in his head, he's entered tomorrow's race.
Phil Maillet on 26.04, it's going to be tight. He's going to be 1 second either side, I think he's got it. He has 2.5 seconds ahead. That was an unbelievable last lap, 15.5 seconds taken out of Phil Maillet. But the race is far from over. Here's a man that could win if he goes clear. Samuelson, 9 out of 9. Down it goes, and the Swedish contingent in the crowd love that. Away he goes, but the clock does not tell the story you wanted to see. Johannes Tingnes is safe. Jacquelin is going to be in a tight battle with Samuelson. Wow. Soloma, the Swedish world champion in the sprint back in 21 in Pachuca. Samuelson has a massive amount of work. 13 seconds. He can take 13 off me in 100 meters, but he's not going to get 13 out of Johannes Tingnes.
No, not a chance. There's so much going on, Patrick, that we'd forgot. Here was Christiansen was out on course, and we missed his start, and he's missed his second shot.
Ski speed wise, Christiansen coming into the first shoot, second fastest, 2.6 seconds down. Now he has to match Johannes Tingnes. A medal is still possible for Christiansen. What about Tarjei Bo? Dale Shevdal on 26.02. It's going to be tight between the Norwegians. Tarjei Bo, I think, is about a second ahead. Watch the eyes. 10 seconds to go. He's still got 50 meters to ski. Is Tarjei Bo the overall world champion from way back in 2011? And he's still got winning form. He goes into top spot for now. Norway 1 and 2. Phil Maillet down into 3. My goodness, did he dig deep for that? Wow.
Yeah, that little punch to the ground indicates that he knew what he had to do and knew he'd have to surpass Dali Shevdal to get ahead of him on that last loop.
Like right. Now, at the beginning of the season, you'd definitely have said he was a contender, but it's not been his best year. He's down in 6th in the World Cup rankings. Hasn't had a win so far today. Is the day Is it today that it comes? Well, that's a good start. It's a perfect start on the range, and in terms of ski speed, Ian, he's thrown away about 14 seconds on that first lap.
Yeah, doesn't look as if he's in any rush. Often looks pretty cool, like ride, but on a par with who is that? Yeah, goes into second place. Of course, we've forgotten the Perot.
Yeah,
на второе место выходит 2.6.
Perot will be in fairly shortly for his second shoot.
По скорости не очень.
After the first shoot has a lead of 2 seconds over Liedgrein.
Так мы видим, как очень тяжело идет Андрес Расторгуевс. Очень тяжело.
Bo leading at 8.8. We're waiting for Johannes Tingesbo to go through that stage. Jacquelin has dropped to 9.7 behind. In fourth place.
39,4 проиграл.
Jacquelin, I'm surprised to see him so far back. What's going on
Лукас
there? He had a
Хоффер.
decent lead coming out.
Минуту 02 проигрывает, тоже на
Possibly
подходе.
burned too much energy on the first loop, which we do
Даже
tend to
если
see from
попадет.
Jacquelin. Come on, Hoffer rarely clears the targets. Today's the day for Hoffer. That said, the ski speed has gone. He's thinking again.
По скорости
Think
нет.
of him as necessarily older than some of the other athletes, but yeah, he's lost some of that ski speed that he used to have. Still brilliant, brilliant skier to watch.
Well, I must say, I cannot remember a noise like we've got in the stadium. Generally, it all happens when they hit targets. Now, Campbell Wright across the finish line. He's into fourth place. That is sensational. Absolutely brilliant. We've seen signs that it was coming, but to put it right on the big night, and he gets a second shot in the pursuit. He's not going to medal here tonight, but that is a wonderful, wonderful start to his championships. Ponsaloma of Sweden, 19. Well, he's going to be, what, 30 seconds outside, I guess, by the time he comes in. 24, 25, and down in fourth place. Just gets ahead of Campbell Wright. Now, athletes we need to watch for the second shoot, Ian. Certainly Perot is #1 on our list. Late start for Philip Horn. So many missing one.
The margins, Patrick, so tight. Everyone is taking chances.
Yeah, here comes a very, very tired-looking skier. He went for broke. He went as fast as he could on the first loop. He shot as fast as he could in the first shoot, and he kept that going as long as he could. It was looking fantastic after the second shoot, having hit 5, but Jacquelin, a spent force. He has lost 30 seconds to the rest of the top 5 over that last 3.3. That is agonizing for him, but you have to give him credit for trying.
Well, you do, but he's got to learn from this, Patrick. And tomorrow
Йоханнес
is
уже
a
выиграет
different race, a different tactic. He'll be fine there because he can sit in the pack. So he's earned the right to be in that lead pack tomorrow.
Yeah, Johannes Tingesbo, who won the world title way back in 2015. He won again in 2019, he won the Olympic Games in 22, he won the world title in 23, and he has himself a 38-second lead. He is going to make Perot's job very, very tough. 37.2 for Johannes Tingesbo with just 300 meters to go now. Up the final bit of climb. Can he eke out another few seconds just to ensure that he is the champion yet again? And as soon as anyone doubts him in, he comes back to produce an unbelievable race. A miss in the prone, and he is one man who wouldn't have thought the race was over. Patrick Oberegger giving him all the information he needs with 150 meters to go. There's not much he can do. Here is Perot on his second shoot. He needs 5 out of 5. He's missed the first one. His title hopes have gone, but he could still get himself into the top 5 or 6. No one is going to touch Johannes Tingesbo. 36-35. It's a huge, huge margin. And guess what? The Bo brothers are 1 and 2 again, just as they were in Oberhof 12 months ago. Who would have written that script? Sensational. Wow.
We will see Samuelsson come into the finish. He's got about another 30 seconds, I think, of this race to finish, and I think he is going to go ahead of Tarja Bo.
Yeah, he had an advantage of 8 seconds over Bo going through 8.8, so only with 1,200 meters to go. He has still got a lead of 4 seconds. Tarja Bo had a brilliant finish up this final climb. Samuelsson needs to dig deep here. Tarja Bo 34 seconds down on Johannes Tingis, and so he now has exactly 34 seconds to finish his run, and he's got 250 meters to go. That last little bit of climbing, there's not much time to be lost from here on into the finish, but he has to keep those legs going. He, like Jacquelin, is dying over the last couple of kilometers.
Yeah, he looks much more tired. Tarja Bo looks so strong coming into the finish, technically powerful, and Samuelsson looks extremely tired.
10 seconds, it's down to 5 seconds with 50 to go. I think he's going to squeeze into second place. He does, just by 0.9 of a second. Another 20 meters, and Tarja Bo would have stayed second. Are we going to see the Bo brothers on the podium yet again? Samuelsson is in the middle of that Norwegian sandwich at the moment. What a race. Michael Krishmarsh, he's had a great day out there. 9 hits out of 10. This could be his best race of the season so far. 28th in the World Cup standings, and I cannot see any occasion he's got into the top 10. He's had a couple of top 15, but that is it. And here he is. He might just break into that bracket. 25,000 fans cheering him on. What a moment for Krishmarsh. He goes 1:49 outside and 14th place for now.
Norway's Christensen out on course, will be approaching the range very shortly. 1 second down on Seb Samuelsson at this point, so he's a contender currently for the podium, but has no chance if he cannot clear 5, as Seb did.
Yeah, Christensen is just in for his second shoot. He'll be taking his place on the firing point very, very shortly. 16 seconds behind the leader, Eric Perrault, at this stage. Perrault, remember, missed. Johannes Tingis Bo did not miss in his stand. It needs to be quick and it needs to be accurate.
The last man to win a sprint on the World Cup circuit. He did it by hitting 5 with 5.
A little delay for the last one. The nerves probably getting to him, but he's down the 5 and he's kept his chances of a medal alive. He's going to have to ski pretty hard because Tarja Bo was very, very quick over that final lap. We're also watching out for Leigreid, who's in for his last shoot, and we need to keep an eye out for Perrault on his last lap. So Nora into 13th, not what the Germans were expecting.
Leigreid is just about 5 seconds down on Perrault's time coming into the chute, and 4 seconds up on Johannes Tingis. So if Leigreid has the kind of form occasionally he's shown us in the past, the last loop is never that good. Not usually the strength of Johannes Tingis, but we haven't seen him race for a while. He's further down the order, which means the tracks out there are a little slower now, Patrick.
7.9 seconds to play with. 7.9, it is not a lot. Now what he's got to be careful here is he does not take the first kilometre and a half too hard, because he'll have nothing left to give when he gets to the steepest, hardest part of the course. Lukas Hofer on the drive for home. It's been a 10 out of 10 for Lukas. That's great news for him, and he accelerates on the last 20-30 meters of the climb. He's in much, much better shape than we've seen at any stage this season. 1:19 outside the leaders already. Hofer is going to struggle to get into the top 5. Just looking through his position, he was down in 15th at the last split point, and he was 1:45 down. If he can hold that margin, he will go into 15th place. He does. Good finish. Really good finish.
So here's Christensen, looking a little tired, coming up this steepest part of the course. Snow is so deep now, it's been completely chopped up.
Still no sign of Perrault through 8.8. Lygride at 7.5 and 7.9 seconds he had advantage coming out of the stadium.
Tell you what, Patrick, I'm pleased to see there's not much traffic ahead of him. That's been an issue for one or two, but he seems to have clear tracks ahead of him right now.
Lygride has a lot of support, and the lead, 2 seconds have gone, but it is only 2 seconds. He still has 5.6 to play with, and there are so many Norwegian coaches out there. He will have every bit of information that he needs. He looks as though he might finally get the better of Johannes Tingesbø.
Я так думаю, следующую отсечку нужно будет проигрывать.
Well, fantastic situation. Going back to Jeremy Finello coming in after the first shoot-in. Haven't seen any later starter. Lygride started number 50. No one starting after him has got into the top 10. Komats of Austria started 52. He's in the top 20. And Finello in for his first shoot. He is only 25 seconds off the leader. Add another 25 with that miss. Perrault, haven't seen him for a while, Ian. He has gone through 8.8, now through 9.1, and he is still in the silver medal position, which I guess at this stage means we are not going to see the two Bø brothers on the podium. Samuelsson has his fingers crossed in the finish area. He is 33 seconds down on Johannes Tingesbø, so Perrault could go in the top 3, and Lygride almost certainly will make the top 3, if not the top position.
We have seen Lygride drop off the pace once or twice this season, having been in a medal position and then just faded. And there was just something about his technique as he went up the toughest part of that course that made me think he's not on quite as good form, perhaps as we see from Johannes Tingnes, as his form today seems to be back.
So Perrault over the top of the climb, he's into the last 200 meters now. He's got a massive cheer from the French contingent, and the French, after getting 1, 2, 3, 4 last night in the women's sprint, were expecting, and it did look as though that might be the case today.
So 20, 25, 26, 25 seconds behind. What a brilliant result. The best of the French so far.
Great effort, and missing one, he would have been right on that gold medal position had he hit 10 out of 10, but it's a big if that all biathletes have to contend with post-race. So now we are watching, particularly for Lygride, who's still out on the course, Stromsheim missing in the prone, and another miss. So much pressure in the Norwegian team. Every race now, Ian, for them is a selection race. They've got 7 athletes in the squad, all of whom can win a World Cup.
It's incredible, yeah. You would expect them, given that they hold the top 5 places in the World Cup standings right now. There's only, who is it? It's Ponce Loma of Sweden is the only one separating the top 5 Norwegians and 1 or 2 others that are representing Norway on the World Cup. So Christensen, let's get a split on him. Some way to go before he passes the marker. Perrault just ahead of him. Well, there you go, 16 seconds behind Johannes Tingnes. Perrault seemed to have a stormer the last loop, but we know Christensen is strong. We know he can hold his technique together. We rarely see him drop off, and often has to put a sprint in a finish of a race. The man that the Norwegians usually rely on in the relay. It hasn't happened every time this year, but
The big news out on the course is that Lygride has dropped off the pace a little, going through 8.8. He was 0.7 of a second down on the race leader, having been 7.9 ahead coming out of the range. Has that changed over the last 600 meters? He's got the support he needs. 4 seconds to get inside, but he's got a way to go. And Johannes Tingesbo will have a little smile. Lygride goes from 0.1 behind to 0.2 behind. It's desperately close. 800 meters to go now for Lygride. This is the race of his life, and Ian, he has to try and benefit from the fact that he is starting after the current leader.
It's so tough for Lygride now. His form will drop off as the lactic builds up. It's a tough finish here. You don't get an easy run into the range. It's not like Ruhpolding where you get a little bit of a rest coming down the hill. You work all the way to the finish. There is this very slight drop, but it's not the kind of drop where you get to rest at all.
Yeah, it looks like a slow finish from Christiansen, but he has long glide. He's still moving at around 28 kilometers an hour as he comes into the finish. 15 seconds outside. He goes into silver, and suddenly, from a French clean sweep last night, it looks as though we're going to have a Norwegian clean sweep tonight. And if you were going to back Lygride, you would put your money on Lygride, who is just that little bit quicker in the finish. He knows what he's got to do. Johannes Tingis does not have a sprint to talk about. It's his Achilles heel, and it might let him down tonight. 25-27 the time Lygride's after. He's got 150 to go. The clock will not stop counting down. 10 seconds to get inside. The crowd on their feet. He's done it. He's pushed the pace over the last half a kilometer. And he's got a lead of 3.5. He's got himself the world title.
Lygride победил Йоханнеса, ребят.
Все в шоке.
Lygride очень радостный.
What a turnaround in the space of 24 hours. Ziggy Mazet can hardly believe it after the start of the day where all his team were missing targets.
Oh, he was worried half an hour ago. Things were not looking good for the Norwegians, and we were wondering what has happened to the best in the world. But I tell you what, Patrick, this win,
Чемпион мира Lygride.
Champion, but he's a Johannes Tingesbo beater, and that all by itself today counts for an awful lot. This man has had to settle so many times.
He is
years
back
now of being just behind Johannes Tingnes.
What a night for the Norwegians. But what a race. You know, a lot of people are a bit fed up that Norway have dominated in the style that they have, but that is the sort of race you want, and that is the first time that Lygride has shown us what he can do this season. My goodness. He got a little bit lucky with the start number in the end. Number 50, who would have thought it? He wasn't in favour with the coaches, otherwise he would have been number 20 or 21.
That's right. So you do benefit from the splits. All that information he had all the way around that last loop. He got those splits and they were clearly helpful. He couldn't have done it without it. You wouldn't have been able to drag out of yourself that kind of finish. He was tired, Patrick. That was tough.
But when you start early in, you know there might be people chasing your time. But for some reason, you can never get quite as much out of yourself when you're self-motivating as to when 20,000 people are giving you their energy.
That's right, because you're still left guessing. I mean, the pain you
Первая
feel
Lygride, второй Йоханнес,
at the
третья,
95,
если что,
96%
Кристиансен.
effort
Я думаю,
level
ничего уже не поменяется, ребят. Спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, кто любит биатлон. И кому понравилось это видео. Всем удачи, ждите новое видео.